And go.
Okay, so now we've already gone over Scootaloo. Let's talk about the leader of the Cutie Mark Crusaders, none other than Applejack's little sister, Apple Bloom. So, Apple Bloom is basically like another country pony. She has a country accent like her sister Applejack. And I gotta say, she has a way cuter design than Applejack. I mean, I love Applejack, but Apple Bloom is super adorable.
I love the bow.
Yeah. She has a very cute design. And again, she's another country pony. Like, I don't really have a lot of interesting things about Apple Bloom's personality, but she's basically the leader of the Crusaders, and her main goal is to search for her cutie mark, since she's been called a blank flank so many times by her archenemy Diamond Tiara. I feel bad every time Apple Bloom has constantly been bullied. Like, she does not really deserve this. Like, it's basically again, a rich pony making fun of a poor person. Basically because it doesn't have what she has. Now, I used to hate Diamond Tiara throughout seasons 1 through 5. That wasn't until Crusaders of the Lost Mark where we actually found out the reason why she was such a bully. But anyways, so Apple Bloom has appeared probably the longest out of the two Cutie Mark Crusaders here, Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle. So Apple Bloom was introduced in the very first season, the very first pilot episode, where Twilight actually meets Applejack and her entire Apple family for the first time. Where we also see characters like Big Mac and Granny Smith, which, by the way, I hope Sing Out Studios makes those one day. But basically, Apple Bloom has had a lot of appearances. Even before she met Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle. But after Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle did arrive, these three dubbed themselves the Cutie Mark Crusaders and made it their long time mission to find their cutie marks. Now, Apple Bloom does act a little bit childish throughout the first few episodes because she's demanding for a cutie mark, but she basically learns that patience is a virtue and that you'll get what you want eventually, which is a nice message. And she is a little bit of a label, but I'm just happy that Apple Bloom doesn't really act like a spoiled brat throughout the show. She has some levels of maturity when it comes to her character, but she doesn't want to be looked down upon like she's some type of little kid. When Applejack is basically telling her to stay behind and not being able to defend herself, Apple Bloom basically just gets upset, saying that she's not a little child, she's not really young. I think one of the biggest problems I do have with Apple Bloom is that the amount of times that Applejack basically treats her like a baby. I think one of my least favorite episodes with Apple Bloom would have to be Some Pony to Watch Over Me. I don't really hate it, and I'll explain why, but the biggest problem I don't really am a huge fan of it is because of how Applejack acts. Basically, Apple Bloom is allowed to be left home alone, but the second Applejack leaves, she basically starts freaking out and is worrying for Apple Bloom's life.
Aww.
And then she becomes overprotective and treats Apple Bloom like a baby and thinks that Apple Bloom can't fend for herself. Bruh, she's been on her own several times with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, so she should be able to defend herself. She isn't as big of a coward as Scootaloo, as I already said. But I just found that weird. I do think it's Applejack's weakest episode for that reason. I mean, I don't really blame Applejack, but I do think it's kind of annoying. She should know that Apple Bloom, isn't, super young. I mean, I understand her concerns and everything, but still. I do like the ending where Apple Bloom actually is in danger and Applejack has to, help her out. And they do end up making amends at the end. Which, it was definitely nice. I think some of my favorite Apple Bloom-centric episodes would have to be Bridal Gossip, for the fact that she was on her own, and this before she met Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle. Not to mention, it was a very funny episode with the poison joke and the amount of curses that the ponies had gotten to themselves. The funniest would have to be Fluttershy sounding like a guy. And we do end up meeting Zecora for the first time, which I do hope we get a plush of her at some point. I also really love other episodes like the Cutie Pox and Call the Cutie and Crusaders of the Lost Mark. There are other interesting episodes that do involve Apple Bloom. And again, as I've already said in the Scootaloo video, I despise One Bad Apple for the fact that Babseed, Apple Bloom's cousin, got turned into a bully and started bullying her own cousin just because she got bullied back in Manhattan.
With that?
The only thing I like about One Bad Apple is the opening, the song in the middle, and the ending, where Babsy basically, like, joins the Q Mark Crusaders. And I do hope one day we do get Babseed as a plush. They need to make more fillies. They really need to. Because these three are so cute. Another episode I really love is the Q Mark Chronicles, where basically we get a flashback with all the main six as fillies themselves, learning about how they got their Q marks. Another episode I really like is, again, I already love Crusaders of the Lost Mark, because now it is a musical episode, but despite that, I love the dynamic the three have and how they finally get their cutie marks. And I'm pretty sure there are some people who have actually cried during that episode because of how emotional it was. And, yeah. There are other interesting episodes, like, okay, there's one episode where, like, these three actually try to go solo on your marks, where they try to do basically different things together. I think the only interesting thing about the episode is that Apple Bloom tries to do dancing with this pony named Tender Taps, and he also doesn't have a cutie mark, so this is the first time where Apple Bloom actually helps someone get their cutie mark. In Call the Cutie, Apple Bloom is basically like whining because she doesn't have a cutie mark, and she's being bullied by Diamond Tiara.
Aww.
So she basically like learns karate from Rainbow Dash. Don't know what that has to do with getting a cutie mark. She asks Twilight if she can like
maybe
use.
They thought maybe martial arts was going to be her passion.
Maybe. Like, these three have done a lot of things to get their cutie marks. Even random things like ziplining or like athletic sports.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a moment where Apple Bloom actually asks Twilight Sparkle if she can give her a cutie mark using magic, which does work, but then it just wears off quickly. And then Pinkie Pie basically sings a song about making cupcakes. Again, what does that have to do with getting a cutie mark? And then when Apple Bloom basically goes to the party, she basically like covers her flank with a cloth, just like hide from Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. But when it falls off, she gets made fun of again. And that's when Scootaloo and Sweetie Belle basically appear in. And like stand up to Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon. And these three become the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Another really cute moment is in Stairmaster when Fluttershy babysits all three of them. And then one of her chickens gets loose and they all basically like run away from Fluttershy without her consent. And Fluttershy basically has to like chase after them and overcome her fears of the ever-free forest. And again, Apple Bloom uses Scootaloo to basically call the chicken, which is funny.
Mm-hmm. Scootaloo.
Yeah, like that. And then they all see like Twilight being turned to stone and this cockatrice thing that is kind of like Medusa. They all start screaming. Fluttershy finds them and stands up to the cockatrice, which was actually amazing. Then there's also like the showstoppers, where it's probably another episode that people don't really like that much because like these three try to like sing in front of a large group of ponies and they all get made fun of and people start laughing at them for their singing. But I mean, yeah, I understand why most people don't like that one. Now, this is something I forgot to mention in the Scootaloo video, but there are other episodes I love, like Sleepless in Ponyville and Campfire Tales, where Scootaloo basically acts like a coward and Rainbow Dash basically like helps her become more confident. I mean, Apple Bloom's just there along for the ride. I mean, these three go camping with Applejack, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash. So, yeah. And another really interesting, like, there are a lot of like creative ideas that they can come up with the Cutie Mark Crusaders, like with the subject of cutie marks, how they work, like how to find their purpose, like some ponies not actually wanting their cutie marks and stuff. But I really love the Fault in Our cutie marks as well, where they meet this griffin named Gabby, who actually does want a cutie mark, but griffins can't get cutie marks.
I remember that.
So they basically like do the other thing and like help her find her purpose. They have to tell her specifically that she can't get a cutie mark, but she's still very like energetic and positive going. And eventually they actually do make her a cutie mark out of wood.
Oh, so they made her one so she wouldn't feel left out, right?
For like her bag.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabby does become one of the Cutie Mark Crusaders.
So cute.
I would love it if there was an episode where we got to see Babseed and Gabby and all these three like going on an adventure. That would actually be like a nice episode. And while yes, it is sad that Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon don't get that much focus anymore.
Lemon.
I do really love the newer seasons where they aren't involved with the Cutie Mark Crusaders' lives, because their lives have gotten better without those two. I mean, they do appear like in other episodes. But I really can't like. It's gonna be hard to think of other Apple Bloom episodes I really love. I guess another really episode worthy of note is like Marks in Recreation, where there's this like Pegasus pony named Rumble who actually doesn't want a Cutie Mark because he's worried that he'll be stuck doing one thing forever.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like he's already found one thing, but he's worried that there'll be another thing that'll keep him from it. So the Cutie Mark Crusaders try to like make their own camp where it's like helping other ponies gain their Cutie Marks. But then Rumble basically like takes over their camp and decides to make it a camp about blank flanks, where they can like appreciate not having a Cutie Mark and still being able to find out what they're good at. I mean, it's kind of like a cult following, and like it's only a little bit political. And it sort of reminded me of when Starlight Glimmer basically stole everyone's Cutie Marks and tried to make everyone equal. But even with that, I still think it's a unique episode. I think the funniest episode with these three has to be Marks for Effort, most definitely. Where basically, like, they meet this new pony named Cozy Glow, who's basically crying because, like, she has to, like, get ready for a test, but she's worried she's going to fail. So these three help her. I think the only thing I don't like about the episode is that Twilight Sparkle falsely accuses them of, like, making Cozy Glow fail, even though Cozy failed on purpose just to get them into their school. And I think the funniest moment definitely is Starlight Glimmer's I see face. But yeah, even with all that, I really love these three. Okay, I don't know how much longer I've been talking.
You're at 12.
Okay. Now, I apologize if I don't have much to say about Apple Bloom, but she's still a very nice character. I definitely think I have more to say about Scootaloo.
Do you want to do the other one too, or no?
Well, no. I want to save Sweetie Belle to the very end.
Okay.
Other things worthy of note is that Apple Bloom has a cute design.
Show me the back. Turn around so we can see the bow. It's so cute.
Michelle Kreber does a great job voicing Apple Bloom. I forgot to pull out Applejack. Like, having these two together actually feels nice.
That's her big sister?
Yeah, Applejack. Oh, there's one more thing.
Is Macintosh their brother?
Yeah. Okay, I'm actually glad you brought that up. So, another episode that I really do like with Apple Bloom is Brotherhood Social, where Big Mac basically wants to, like, spend time with Apple Bloom.
Aww.
And
that's cute because he's so huge and she's so small.
Yeah. And at the end, he basically, like, tells Apple Bloom how depressed he is, like, how much, like, time she spends with Applejack and how he's just stuck in the farm doing chores.
That makes sense.
While AJ is going on adventures. But then Apple Bloom basically...
AJ's what they call Applejack?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
And Apple Bloom ends up looking up to Big Mac and tells her how much, like, she loves him, and it's just super cute.
Are there other siblings or just those three?
Well, Apple Bloom has a lot of cousins as well.
Yeah, but how many brothers, sisters? Just one sister, one brother?
Yeah. I mean, there's another episode where they try to learn about their parents and, like, how they basically got together. But anyways, back to Brotherhood Social. The other thing I really love about it is the fact that Scootaloo and Rainbow Dash are both in it. And the whole episode is just Big Mac wanting to, like...
14.
Participate with Apple Bloom since Applejack is gone. And basically, he dresses up as this female pony named Cousin Orchard Blossom, which is freaking hilarious. And I just love the, like, antics that him and Apple Bloom get into.
Orchard Blossom is a boy?
Well, she's a girl, but Big Mac's just dressing up.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
That's like his
Yeah, I remember.
secret identity.
I remember that one.
And he basically, like, tries to speak in, like, this female country accent.
It was cute.
It was hilarious. And they didn't win, but Apple Bloom still, like, had a nice talk with Big Mac at the end. I just like how they're staring off into the sunset. Sitting next to a tree. It was so cute. And there's a couple more, so, like, but yeah, I still really love Apple Bloom. She's super cute, and her purpose in, like, trying to find her Cutie Mark is definitely a nice arc for her. I feel bad how many times she's been bullied by Diamond Tiara. I do think she could deserve better, but yeah. So, anyways, Apple Bloom is another really great plushie right here. They really captured, like, the bright yellow, the little pink bow, which is super cute. Like, they really did a nice job. It's actually made out of fabric as well.
Yep, it's just coral colored hair.
Yeah, basically. like it's basically like a scarlet red,
Mhm.
and just like Scootaloo, she has the outlines. Now I think her eyes are supposed to be like a mix between red and orange.
Mhm.
Yeah, and she also has the Q mark. Now all three of these do have the same Q mark shield, but they do have a different symbol on the shields. And again, I don't know if one day we might get blank flank variants of these, but only time will tell. They did make a Unicorn Twilight as well.
16.
So, alright, well, that was a little short, but I did try to get my points around Apple Bloom. I do think I prefer Scootaloo's like review more, but even
Which
with
plush do you prefer out of those two?
well, I think I like all three of them. I'm sorry, but these three all look super accurate.
They're
and
cute.
They're super cute. Like, for the fact that they're basically like smaller than the other ponies. Like, you look at Apple Bloom and Applejack, like these two together just is super nice. I really hope we'll get Big Mac and Granny Smith, as well as Countess Coloratura, Applejack's old friend, actually best friend. I wish we got more episodes with her. And if we got Bright Mac and Buttercup, that would also be nice, as well as Goldie Delicious. I mean, we do have Pinkie Pie, who is technically Applejack's cousin, although we don't really know if they're related or not. But that episode was still cute. It was fun. I love the song. It was super hilarious. And just the ending where they're all arguing and Pinkie Pie, like, basically joins in. I mean, their family isn't really perfect. They do, like, but, anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And what do you think of Apple Bloom? If you love her, tell me in the comments below. And which Key Mark Crusader is your favorite? Do you like Apple Bloom, Scootaloo, or Sweetie Belle? Alright, there's one more part to this, so stay tuned for when we talk about Sweetie Belle. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.